Good evening, members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Whoever's here going to view. I said I was going to go live at 11:15, and I'm a man of my word, and I kept my promise, and I'm here. Ready to talk about different things and theories. Whoever's here. I want to pull out something and show y'all something. You know, ever since I was whoever's a Star Wars fan, I wanted to share this with y'all. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was a kid, and I remember I used to collect all kinds of things. Remember those packages that had the gum, and it had all the characters in there from the movie. It was pretty awesome. Yes, I'm okay, brother. I'm doing better. Still having some problems, some issues with some of the meds that I'm taking, but that's going to be handled within the next 2 weeks. I still got to go to the doctors and stuff like that, but I'm trying to hang in there. I'm trying to keep the negativity the doctors done told me about me and what can happen and stuff like that. I try to keep the negativity out, and I'm just stay positive and place faith over fear first. But besides that, I don't think about it too much. What they told me today, it wasn't good news. It was bad news. But at the same time, like I always say, we have to not leave any kind of openings. And one of the openings is when somebody comes after you through fear mongering. This doctor came at me so hard, whoever's reviewing, that she was talking. She even told me about the statistics of the people that are dying of COVID here in Texas, and she gave me numbers. She tried to use those numbers as a fear factor to tell me that I better get my COVID shot, or that with the conditions that I have, that I'm probably going to die. So I didn't allow the negativity to enter my heart, so I just ignored her, and it's up to me whether I want to take the shot or not, and I choose not to, and I'm not going to take no COVID shots. But I wanted to share some little memorabilia here before we start talking spiritually. You see, ever since I was a kid, I remember, the Star Wars movie. And one of the characters that stood out the most to me, when people talk about Bigfoots, people talk about dogmen, was Chewbacca. You see, there's a cab that I just put on, that I've been having it for a very long time, and it's been Chewbacca. Sorry to hear that, brother David Bunt. Yes, I'm still sick. A lot of my numbers are not right for my INR, the work that I did. The blood work I did yesterday, I got the results today, and a lot of things are not right. There's a lot of things that are not right. That's all I can say. And like I said, the doctor said that if I don't take care of the numbers, what they told me, then most likely I'm going to die. That's what she tried to tell me. And she said that with all the conditions that I have, that with the COVID that's happening right now, that COVID can kill me. That it can kill me, and once things start happening to me, whether it be a heart attack or she gave me all these things that could happen to me because of the conditions that I have and my RNRs not being right, that I could die. That's what she told me. But like I said before, I let her speak whatever she had to speak, and I said, "Okay, doctor, you have a blessed day," and that was it. And the final ultimatum is up to me. What I choose, and I'm not gonna let that kind of fear mongering come up against me. Like I said, I have my faith and I believe in the Heavenly Father, and the Heavenly Father has always been there for me, has never let me down. But like again. I'm sorry you went through that, brother David Bunt. There's a lot of my family members here gotten sick with the COVID, and some of my sister's family, the whole family, got COVID, and her husband, he had blood clots that form in his lungs, from the COVID. You see, I believe all that has to do with chemical warfare. There is one thing that I got, how should I say, exposed to when I was in Desert Storm before I went out of combat. We got hit by a Scud missile, and the Scud missile was containing an agent called blood agent. So the blood agent can affect your bloodstream, in which it can cause blood clots. Listen, the key word is blood clots. And most of these people that are dying, they're things like, and this things in this nature that are happening to them, which they're forming blood clots, and the blood clots are killing them. So to me, I see it as a form of chemical war, that bio war, and I feel that it's our own government doing this to the people within the United States for population control. Just like in China, that's what they do. They do those kind of things on purpose for population control. They've been wearing masks there for a lot of years now. For years, they've been wearing masks. And like I said, it's dealing with, if they can put the fear factor out there to scare somebody about the deadly disease and force them to wear masks and follow rules and regulations, that's control right there. That takes away their freedom, and that's what they're about over there in that government. It's about control, and that's what I'm seeing right now with the people in charge, that they're affiliated with the government, with China, which is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the Democratic Party. That's what they're about, and that's what they want. They want people to be controlled. They want people to follow orders. They want people to take the shots, whether they want to or not. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen that way. How you doing, brother Gabriel Romero? How you doing? Yeah, and that's what's happening right now. And that's what, me being proud military, that's what I see. That's what I see, a lot of that happening. But right now, you see, I train here in my house. I have boxing equipment. I got weights. I do my workouts here at the house. My son, he trains. He's a boxer, and he trains at the gym, at the boxing gym, and that's what he does. He likes to do that. Me, I'm prior military. I've worked out all my life, even till now. But I'm doing better. My health is better. But yeah, what I wanted to talk about was this hat right here. You see, when we talk about cryptids, well, I'm going to go back to this now till we get some more viewers. Whoever wants to join in and is brave enough to ask a question. I'm waiting for somebody to ask this question. But I want to show you all something before we get to that. This is my Chewbacca hat. To me, Chewbacca always reminded me of Bigfoot. I think if I'm correct, Star Wars came around the time frame about the Bigfoot footage. They came out right around the same time frame. There's already stories about Sasquatch to the natives, but I believe Chewbacca, to me, when they made Chewbacca, was to make him as what I believe to be Bigfoot, right? And that's what I see. When I see a Chewbacca or Star Wars, it reminds me of Bigfoot. And I want to share something else with y'all. Some memorabilia here that y'all remember this guy? Huh? Whoever knows Star Wars, we do. If you know this character's name, can you say his name, please? Cause I got some items here to show y'all. Luke Skywalker, right? We got Luke Skywalker here. We got C-3PO right here. And we got, this one, it was my favorite one right here. Chewbacca. Chewie. There he is. Chewbacca, aka Bigfoot. I'm beginning to wonder if they stole the idea from Star Wars of Bigfoot because, Chewbacca, when there's somebody describes a Bigfoot, he reminds me of Chewbacca. It makes you wonder who stole who. If Star Wars stole the image from the Patterson film, or if the Patterson film stole the image from Star Wars. Which one happened first? I don't even know exactly what year it came out. I know Star Wars came out it had to be in the 70s. So I don't know which footage came out first, the Patterson film or the movie Star Wars. But when I see Chewbacca, right, Chewie, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of Bigfoot. I just wanted to share that with y'all, and right here I got. Well, I know this one is not from that time frame. I used to have a shirt that had all those characters, but I like this character right here. Go Ren. Yes, I promise y'all it was a close game, a football game. Whoever wins the football game, Cowboys lost by 2 points to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it was a field goal that beat them. But I think they lost by 2 or 1. Yeah, by 3. I can't remember. But it was a good game. I think they lost by 2. I believe, yeah, by 2. But yes, if anybody got any questions, like I said before, I wanted to talk about certain topics. So I'll start, with the topics, and whoever wants to view and listen to what I have to say. Yeah, Patty was spotted in 1968. But Patty, you see, Bigfoot has been in talk of legends way before they made the film, the Patty film. It's been in native culture for years. For years, way before that. So, it's kind of iffy and sketchy to me. The way I seen the film, and I don't know, man. It's kind of sketchy. Because it's a black and white film. And what's bad about that is there's been people that are been affiliated to whoever made that film that about a suit that was sold to them by an individual that would make suits at that time, and so that's why it makes the film sketchy, because people saying there was a guy that dressed up as supposedly this Bigfoot in this film, and he came out in the open about it. That he came out in this film. I believe he already passed away, but it's sketchy to me. When you got people saying that somebody made a costume for them. The guy was already a film producer, was doing things, so they decided to go supposedly hunt for Bigfoot to get some evidence. But all these people that came out afterwards, that were affiliated with them, saying that it was a costume involved. There was a person dressed in a costume that did him the favor. There was 3 people involved, I believe, in this film. But there was a costume maker, and that guy passed away, but he was famous for making costumes in this nature. So to me, you could put it as evidence, but when there's people that say that they were the ones in the costume that made that film, and then you got the maker that says that they sold him the thing, and there's people saying this, it kind of like, how should I say, messes up the whole Patterson film. Even though it looks pretty good. Sorry about that. It messes up everything. When there's speculation. Just kind of like. Well, and the reason I'm talking about speculation, is because there's always speculations. It doesn't matter. Like you see all these YouTube videos where they say they spotted a Bigfoot, and they're like maybe a couple of feet away from them, and they film the Bigfoot for a little bit, and then next thing they stop filming the Bigfoot. To me, all those films that are like that, they're not real. They're there's somebody in a costume there. There's somebody in a costume, because I don't think a Bigfoot, if they do exist, their instinct is too keen to get that close to somebody in that nature that somebody's going to catch them on film like that. It's very hard for me to believe. I've seen so many through YouTube. You look them up on YouTube, and you can literally tell that there's people wearing costumes. That they're trying to keep the legend alive, I guess you could say. And that's what I see. I know there's a lot of people in the cryptozoology and people that want to believe it's true. But to me, of all the films that I've seen one where there's this guy in a costume and he's running on the ground like a gorilla, wearing a dogman costume, in which, right now the technology is advanced, and there's so many people that can infiltrate that way, and I believe till the day they find a body as evidence and place it, and they study it, that's the day that I'll believe that a Bigfoot or a dogman is real. There has to be a body found in order to say, look, this does exist, this is real. Just like a lion is real, a tiger is real, a bear is real. I believe that's what needs to happen in order for it to be legit. There's some people that say you don't need to find a body of a Bigfoot to be legit. The reason they say that is because they're never going to find a body of a Bigfoot. They're never going to find or trap a body of a Bigfoot, because to me, they are spiritual beings. The native people, they consider them as spiritual beings. Just like they consider a Wendigo a spiritual being, the same thing with a Bigfoot. They consider it in that nature. They consider other things. I could tell you stories of other beings besides a Bigfoot and a Wendigo in the native culture. You got the shapeshifter, which used to be a shaman at one point in time, but they practice the black arts, the black magic. And then you got the one. There's one called there's one called the One. I'll tell you about the One. Well, here in Texas, there was there used to be a lot of Texas here where I live, in Central Texas, used to be native land, and a lot of those natives that were here in Texas, they will go to Oklahoma, Louisiana, and to New Mexico, and the natives used to live in the area where I live. If you look into spiritual cryptid encounters, I put a story there about the natives in this area. Well, the natives in this area, they were woodlanders. They live near the creeks, and they would be literally almost naked, because the other Indians considered them dirty Indians. They were dirty Indians. I guess they were lazy. They didn't know nothing about agriculture. So the only thing they knew was of the hunt, right? So they would hunt buffalo, and they would chase a buffalo off cliffs. So when the buffalo would fall off the cliffs, that was their meat for the day. But these natives that live in Central Texas, they had another thing, something else that they were involved in, and that's why I believe a lot of the activity that we see of skinwalkers, wendigos, has to do with this. The natives in this area, they used to be cannibals, right? They used to be cannibals. When they would go hunting for other Indians, they will kill them, or they'll open them up and eat them through cannibalism. That's what they were involved in. So a lot of the other Indians they lost family members through these Indians that live here in my area in Central Texas. They came and hunted them down and killed many of them. The government had to intervene because of all the murders from the Indians that live in this area. They hunted them down and killed a lot of them, but some of them survived. Some of the natives that were involved in this cannibalism, they survived. So they got sent to Oklahoma. They were in Oklahoma, and they were doing the same thing they were doing here in Central Texas. They were killing people and cannibalizing them. So the some of those natives stayed in Oklahoma, right? Because that's what they did. They were cannibalized. They were eating human flesh. So they got some of those out of there, and they moved them back to Texas. As they moved them back to Texas, they were doing the same thing. They started cannibalizing human flesh, and then from there, the Texas government, the state of Texas got tired of them, and they sent them to New Mexico because all these Indians that came and killed most of them. So they sent the remaining Indians of this tribe to New Mexico. That's where they sent them to. That was the last place in history where they were sent to because they got kicked out of Texas. Well, there's natives here. I believe because of the cannibalism, right? We all know, we hear the stories about Wendigos, right? I believe there's natives because they were cannibals and they've eaten human flesh, that they became what we know as the Wendigos because they ate the flesh of human. That's what they would do. They would cannibalize. There's a story. I'm going to share a story with y'all. Now, I've done a lot of research and investigating about this because of the activity here in Central Texas. Killeen, Temple, Belton, Nolanville, Harker Heights, all this area here, Salado, all this area used to be native land, and it belonged to those natives. The story that I wanted to share with you all about them was there was this cannibalistic Indians. They were help the calf soldiers go hunt other Indians. They would help them go hunt for them. So they're affiliated with the calf when the calf was in the horse regiment. So there was one day that there was a calf soldier that was with them, that they hunted down I believe a Cherokee. So, and they had him as a prisoner, right? So when the calf soldier went looking for him, he couldn't find him. When he found him, they were cannibalizing this Cherokee. They were eating them, right? They were eating the Cherokee. I want to share another story with y'all. Some of the same natives, when the other tribes, the Cherokee, the Comanches, they had vengeance for them. They wanted revenge because they had killed a lot of their family members through cannibalism. So they came hunting for them. So instead of them dying under the hands of the Comanche or the Cherokee, what a lot of this cannibalistic Indians did, they formed a circle with their family members. As they formed a circle with their family members, and they hold hands, they cut their wrists. So basically, they committed suicide. They cut their wrists, and in this story, as it goes, as I understand, that when the blood sinks into the ground, because they would commit suicide at night, right? So let's say when the sun would rise out of the center of the circle from the blood spilled on the ground, which was a blood sacrifice, that the one will come out. They said the one was like a demigod. A one will come out through the blood sacrifice, and the blood it was called the one. It was a dark being, and this dark being had godly light powers that he could use the elements around himself to manifest to whatever, whether he used branches, leaves, rocks, trees. He could manifest into anything, including animals that lived in the land, because he had the ability, because of the blood sacrifice. It's kind of like the circle. You know, when you hear circles about like the Bigfoots, or when they place the rocks in a circle formation, well, that's what it really stands for. That's really what it stands for, and it's really a warning that the the one, which was from the blood sacrifice, right, is letting the people know of the circle, and people think that that they're being friendly with them, but what they're really letting them know is that there's a blood sacrifice there, and it's their territory, and it's a warning. The circle of rock formation is really a warning, and it's telling them this is where I dwell. And since we're talking about this rock formation, when I took a walking down there in Elms Grove, I remember one night the night before I had walked like 10 miles. So I started walking and I got near the airport and I just felt tired, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to go back to the house. So I turned around, and when I turned around, walked like 4 or 5 feet, I noticed something. I noticed a rock formation in the middle of the street. It was like 20 rocks placed in the middle of the street. And I was looking and I said, well, there's no way, because I wasn't that far away from those rocks. And I said, there's no way somebody could have placed that there. No freaking way, because the rocks were pretty big. So it was a bigger rock formation that was placed in the middle of the street. And I'm looking, so I go nearby the rock formation, and I'm like, hey, who's playing a prank? Who placed this here? Nobody's saying nothing, So I look at the rock formation. I didn't go into the middle of the rock formation. I went around it. And that was the last time that I went walking at nighttime out there. And in Kalina, Elms Grove, there's an embark. There's an embark. And around the embark, around the bend, is where that happened. And to me, I took it as a warning that whatever was there is telling me, hey, this is my territory. There was a blood sacrifice here. When I see a circle like that on the ground, it reminds me of the story of I was telling you, the family that takes his life in a circle formation. Also, the natives would do circles in that manner. You can look it up into any native, Comanche or Cherokee. The shamans will heal that way. Some of the shamans, they will wear the furs of animals, whether it was a fur of a coyote, a fur of a wildcat. They'll replace themselves with masks, and the mask had a form of some kind of animal form, whether it be something that looks like a wendigo, and that's the way they were dressed. In that manner, when they would go heal people that were dying, they would form a circle in that manner when a person was dying, and the person that was dying would be in the middle of the circle. So there's something that we'll practice, So when I hear all the stories about Bigfoots, and when I hear about the circle formations or the banging of rocks, well, I've heard and I've heard all that, and I've seen all that in Elms Grove, where I live, and all the area, whether it's there or even Fort Hood, or Killeen, Texas. Wolfmask too, brother David. Even Fort Hood and Killeen, Texas, all that used to be native land. On Fort Hood itself, there's certain locations where you cannot go to the mountain ranges because they're Indian burial grounds. They're sacred. They're Indian burial grounds. And I'm more sure there's a lot of Indian burial grounds all around Central Texas that we don't know about. I looked for markers. I found a map with a lot of markers where supposedly they found Indian burial sites or something dealing with natives. That's all over Central Texas. So that's where I get my theory of what I believe this creature's Bigfoot's is dealing with the shaman. That maybe we might be seeing a shaman wearing the face of a wolf, right? And we're thinking it's a dogman, but it's really a shaman spirit with a mask on, right? I'm just talking this as theory-wise, and that's why what I encountered there, I seen it as spiritual. I kept it as spiritual, but I just wanted to share this with y'all. I wanted to talk to y'all about what I want to talk to you about is pictures. Sometimes people see things in pictures, and sometimes people don't see things in pictures. But it's weird how how some people that say they don't see something when a picture has spiritual on it and you could literally see there's something there. They say they can't see nothing, or they say a smart remark, but then they'll see you go and see the same person with a picture that you can't even tell there's something there. And since they're placing it that it's a flesh being, and you could tell that in the picture it's so messed up, you can literally tell there's nothing there. And they want to say it's something just because they're saying it's a flesh being. But when you look at the picture, there's really nothing there. I guess it depends how what you say on the picture. It's just unbelievable, you know. It's funny to me when people want to come to my pictures and you can literally see what's there, and they say that they turn blind. They're blind. They turn blind and say there's nothing there. They turn blind, or they turn the other way because they say there's nothing there in that picture because they know I'm, like my site says, spiritual and cryptid encounters. People don't like the spiritual part of it, right? So that's why they say that, you know. But yeah, you know what? I'm going to give an example of that one day. When somebody criticizes my picture, I'm going to follow them wherever they're at. And when they make a comment in a certain picture that is really messed up, I'm going to put it out there. How can they compare something that doesn't look like there's nothing to something that where there's something there? Because you could literally see it. But there's a lot of that, you know. I think that's very funny. But I just wanted to share the story, you know. I invited people. No, I see people coming in out of my spiritual site. I see them coming in my spiritual site, and I invited them to be here at 11:15. And I said I would answer any question anybody has to say to me, that I would answer it. And I'm here. We've been here for about 45 minutes now, almost 45 minutes. We're like at 35 minutes because I started the feed at 11:15. So nobody came here to ask questions, or if they have some question to ask me, I don't care what kind of question they ask me, I would have given them a legit answer, a legit answer to what I specialize in. And the thing that I specialize in is spiritually. But I guess people are afraid to come in here to ask those kind of questions, because I'll answer your question. You know, I'll answer anybody's question, whatever question they have. Yeah, Brother David, I'm thinking it's compromised. You know, I've seen it, and to me it looks compromised. You know, it reminds me of the movies that I used to watch when I was a kid, from the movies that were from the 60s and 50s. There were some movies that they would show on Saturday matinee, like, I don't know if you ever remember Gargantuan, where I think that was the name of the movie. It was two giant, they looked like two giant Bigfoots fighting each other. You had a brown one, you had a green one fighting each other. They were called it was called Gargantua or something like that. That's what the costume. It was a costume. That's what it reminds me of that movie. Look it up, Gargantuan or Gargantua or something like that. It's dealing with two big old giant monsters that were fighting each other. They looked like Bigfoots in some kind of way. The face looked ape-like. Yeah, to me, I believe what I see. I believe it was set up that way, you know, and those guys they took that light to the grave, you know. They took the light to the grave, and I know people are not they're gonna hate me even more now, but that's all right. They can hate me all they want to, you know. I'm just being honest about what I think about it, about that film, and I think it's fraudulent. You know, that's what I believe. I've seen it numerous times, and I don't. When I see the film, I don't get a sense of fear when I see that film. I don't get a sense of fear at all, because it looks like a movie, like any creature from a movie that looks like it's made up, you know. and I don't sense fear. I've seen some of the pictures that we have on our sites. They're more scarier than the footage of that's more scarier than the footage of that film. But I'm just being honest about all this. You know, I was waiting to see if some of those individuals that that infiltrate were going to ask me a questions, but I guess they didn't want to hear what I had to say. But that's okay, because you know what? I can say whatever I want to say. I'm the boss of this site. They can come in and out all they want to. That's okay. I don't care. But I think it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how they come in and out. And by the way, the open invitation to Elms Grove Estate, it's there for y'all. If you want to doubt the spiritual aspect out of things, come on over to Elms Grove Estate Park. You will have an experience that you have never had before. Welcome into the realm of the supernatural. Yes, I know nobody's called me, nobody's sent me a message through Messenger to say, hey, sorry, hey Abe, see us. Can you take me and my friends to the site, to that location, to where you had your experience? Can you take us there? I would gladly take you all there if you were to ask me. If you were to ask me, I would take you there. But yeah, like I said, I took the time to make this video for whoever wants to view it. They can view it, and whoever doesn't want to view it. But I think it's funny, how I have an open invitation, and a certain person and his wife know about that location, what's up in the location, because they never came back. They know what's up in the location, and they, as a matter of fact, that individual's wife knows exactly what's up with the location because she got spiritually attacked there. But they're never gonna admit it. How you doing, brother Michael Moran? You missed. We're talking about the topic of. I got the Chewbacca hat here, and that I've always loved Chewbacca, and that Chewbacca always reminded me of Bigfoot. That's my Chewbacca hat. I was sharing some of my memorabilia. I got Luke Skywalker right here. I got a C-3PO. And I got Mr. Chewbacca right here. Look at that. Don't that look like a Bigfoot to you? Come on, guys. You got to say it's real. It's right here. There's the evidence. We got ourselves a squash right here. There's the evidence, guys. There's a squash right here. We're very, very real. Look at that. You can see the teeth. Look at the nose. Look at the nose. You can see the fur. Look, it's got brown. That's how I believe they described the Bigfoot. Look at that. That looks like a squash to me, don't y'all think? Look at that. Now, it looks like a squash. Right there, look. It reminds me of the videos where there's people running around on YouTube wearing costumes, but I believe that if there was anybody that ever mimic somebody to look realistic like that, I would say Chewbacca would be number one right here. Chewbacca, he's to me the original Bigfoot right here. And then you got the other Bigfoot from the Hendersons, but Chewbacca, man, he came out on the main screen in several movies. That's my number one character right here. Chewbacca, Sasquatch, Bigfoot. That's what I think. This reminds me of Bigfoot right here. Chewbacca. Look at that. Here's my hat, fellas. Chewbacca. I've been having. It's not even been worn, man. I just put it on. To to put it on, to have it on. Yes, sir, brother Michael Moore, and RIP to him. Yes, another topic I wanted to talk about. Another topic I wanted to talk about was it was dealing with the pictures. You know how we already talked about the pictures. There's another thing I wanted to talk about real quick before I go, and it was dealing with a picture I posted of it looks like a being with red eyes, and he's just there staring at me. You know, I explained the story there on the site, how the dogs were barking. I came outside the home, on my mobile home when I used to live in Elms Grove, and that as I was walking, I sensed something beside me, and then I heard something speak to me. And when I heard that, I already had my camera in my hand because I was used to that kind of activity happening every time, every day. So when I turned around and I heard it say something, I snapped a picture. Well, that image is from a nighttime picture. It was late at night, and that's the image that came out of on my phone when I snapped the picture. And I wanted to talk about that. Since he had the red eyes, that reminded me of what is the name of that? Is it the dark? Not the dark man. What is the Hat Man? I believe it's a Hat Man or a Shadow Man that's got red eyes. And you got other beings that have red eyes. They said that the Mothman has the red eyes. They say that the hellhound has the red eyes, and other cryptids had red eyes. And to me, all that symbolizes to me like that they're in some kind of way spiritual, that they're affiliated. They have the red glowing eyes, that they're affiliated spiritually through the hell realm. Demonic. That's what I believe. Yes, Mothman has red eyes. That's what I seen, what I witnessed when I was a kid. That my dad told me to sit down by a blackberry tree, that he was going to introduce me to a friend. Is that when my friend gets here, I'm going to let you know. When he gets here, I'm going to tell you to turn around, but turn around very slow. As you turn around very slow, you better not get scared. I was like around 6 years old, so I'm sitting there in front of the blackberry tree, and then he said, "Okay, he's here. You can turn around, but remember, don't get scared. Turn around real slow." So I remember when I turned around real slow, and when I turned around and looked at the tree, I could see a big dark shadow figure in the tree, and he had red eyes. It was massive, man, and he had red eyes, and he was looking at me. And I turned around and I ran inside the house, and my dad was like, I told you not to get scared, and I just ran inside the house because my senses told me that it was something evil. You know, all my hair stood up. You know, that feeling that you get as your senses kick in. It just went crazy, man, and I ran inside the house. But yes, there's several beings. I believe there's winged creatures. There's other creatures that are. You got some that look bat-like, that are flying around. Up in Chicago, the people are spotting them. I believe there was one that was spotted in the airport, and they had red eyes. You know, that's what people say. There's beings that are being spotted with red eyes. There's some that said that they're bat-like creatures. They're being spotted with the red eyes. You know, and then you got those Mothman that I believe is pitch dark. It's so pitch dark that you can barely see. You can see the silhouette. The darkness is darker than the darkness that is out there. But it's the red eyes that they're real bright, that scares the hell out of you. And the feeling of fear that comes, because to me it's negative energy. It sent me running. When I was a kid. But yes, I wanted to bring that aspect out of it. That I believe that a lot of this creatures that people are seeing with the red eyes, especially they're being spotted at nighttime. That to me they might be demonic. You know, some people say they're humanoids, disembodied Nephilim. There's another topic I was talking about yesterday. How I believe that the disembodied Nephilim. They say disembodied Nephilim were the Watchers slept with women, and when they slept with the women. They created the Nephilim, right? But after the flood, they became disembodied Nephilim because they were in spirit form because they were part angelic, demonic, because the watchers are there in Sinai. But I believe that when they were here on land, that they slept not just with women, that they slept with animals, right? In which even the animals that they slept with, since that they created disembodied Nephilim through them also, which some of them, that's why they look like the dogman, they look like the Bigfoots, they look like the mothman, they look like bats, they look like bears, they look like all these animals because that's part of them. That's part of them because they were created through the washers, so they have those spiritual capabilities because they're part demonic. That's why when the flood came, it was to destroy the Nephilim, but they survived and they're still here amongst us. But they're here. Some of them they're here in spirit form. So they're actually when they're here, they try to find a host. What I mean by that is they like to possess people. If they can possess the host and then destroy the host, then they go on to the next. And that's the works that they do. If they can, even if they can convince the host or the vessel that they're using to kill themselves, that's one win for them because they're upset because anybody that's man or woman here has how should I say, it's destiny for us to go into the kingdom of heaven. We have the opportunity to go to the kingdom of heaven because they're children of the light, but they don't have that opportunity because they were created by the washers, which they're not God's creations. They were created by something else, and that's why I always bring the disembodied Nephilim. And I say disembodied Nephilim because a lot of Nephilim got destroyed during the flood, but it says in the Bible that the Nephilim are going to come back. So you're hearing the stories of all these creatures that are being seen in Chicago. Why are they being seen in Chicago? I'm going to tell you why. Because of all the killings that happened there. The disembodied Nephilim are demonic. So they're attracted to those areas where there's killings, right? So that's where they go. They go into those areas to what? To possess and cause havoc. And that's what they're doing in Chicago. You got the Owlman too. I heard the story of the Owlman. The Owlman is from another country, and it was dealing with a witch. But they said that the Owlman took some children, and that's what it does. It takes children. It's huge. But they made it seem more of a demonic being. I've read the story. I've heard the story of the Owlman. Is like a demonic being, but in the form of an owl. Then you got also like the Dare Woman. Look up the legend of the Dare Woman. The Dare Woman is very, very beautiful, very, very beautiful woman, and she comes up to you, and she has a pretty smile, and she wants to get to know you, try to distract you, to go with you, but if you don't pay attention to her feet, because in her feet you'll be able to see that she's a beast, because her feet will be beastly. She'll have the beast form. She'll have the feet or the leg of the beast, whether of the deer or whatever beastly form. She's kind of like a shapeshifter. She can shapeshift. So there's some men that have been lured against her, and they're not here no more because she kills them. But look it up. The legend of the Dare Woman is a native legend, and she's called many names in different cultures. Like I said, we can talk about a lot of cryptids, reptilians. We can talk about reptilians. Reptilians have, I believe, yellow eyes. Shapeshifter that I encountered, he had yellow eyes. You could see the yellow eyes when the reptilian that I encountered named Indiana. When I shook his hand felt weird, and I could feel claws on my hand. And he looked at me and he smiled at me. And when he smiled at me, I could see all the sharp teeth on his face. And his skin started opening up because he blew his cover. And you could see the reptilian scales on his face. He was greenish. And as I continued to keep my hand on his hand, I started praying within myself, say, Our Father, and his skin started breaking more, and his identity got revealed to me that he was reptilian. So I let him go, and I said, You have a nice day, Mr. Indiana, but you can still see the scales on his face. You can see the reptilian eyes, and the teeth are real sharp, like real sharp. He had a lot of teeth, like a real sharp teeth. And he looked at me and just looked up in the air, and he was smiling like he was pointing to the air, saying he wasn't from here, you know. But I encountered the reptilian coming out of the woods in Elms Grove. He tried to attack me on the highway. It was in the form of a person, and he was charging at me. He was like 6'8", 6'9", and he was running at me. He was like trying to get me from the back, but I turned around with my guards up, and he stopped. But I believe there's a lot of things that are out there that could be true, but I'm just going to tell you like this. The devil was a master of illusion. He was a trickster. Just like demonic beings are tricksters that can trick people because they can manifest into anything. So just be careful of what you give power to, whoever you're viewing. Be careful what you give power to, because if you start believing in it, then it might have some kind of authority over you. Damn, brother, right, Michael Moran? Hey, maybe you're using the wrong bait, Michael Moran. You might need to buy some. I know what you can buy. You can buy some kettle corn and just throw it on the ground and let the deer woman come to you, because the deers like kettle corn. I know, at the petting zoo, that's how I see people have the little bag of cornmeal and stuff, of kettle corn, and maybe you'll attract that deer woman and get lucky. No, I seen how beautiful she was, that encounter I had at the park. But then when I seen her freaking leg, flapping like this, it was moving like this real fast, and I seen the leg of a deer, I was like, oh hell no, hell no. She can move on along, she can move along and leave me alone. I seen the leg of a beast, or of a deer or some sort. I let her go, man, and she took off real fast. But if you want to hook you up with that blind date, man, you don't have to worry about the kettle corn. I buy some, Michael, and I can make some arrangements. No, I'm just playing about the arrangements, brother. But yeah, she's a spiritual being, a shapeshifter of sort, with those abilities to. She's a seducer. She likes to seduce men, Sorry, she can't mess with Soren Seals, because Soren Seals is hardcore. Soren Seals is hardcore. Soren Seals is like, move on, get away from me. See what? There's a lot of other beings like that, man. You got, and there's so many tales in the native culture about this. Go ahead, brother Michael. That's why I made this video. For any questions, for anybody got a question, to say it and I'll answer it to the best of my knowledge or ability. I guess I keep on talking till Michael sends a question. Man, telling you, I got pictures I'm going to share that was sent to me by a woman that lives by the Built-in Lake here in Central Texas. She said that she bought land there, and this land is near the cliffs by where the lake is. And she sent me three pictures of what seems to be a dog man that she's seen there on her property. I got those pictures, and I'm going to work on the pictures, and I'm going to place them so y'all can see them. Yes, brother. You got the witching hour and the demonic hour. The witching hour is from 1 to 2. the demonic hours between 3 and 4. When I had my encounter that I could hear the woman calling for help, yelling for help, was happened between 3 and 4. And by the way, I'll be having the show on this Woods Are Haunted, and this season I'll be in one of the shows. I believe Mr. Turner, Mr. Turner is gonna have his episode, and they're also, I don't know when, but this Friday and Saturday they're gonna show the first episode. Friday or Saturday on the travel show. I believe it's either at 8 or 9 o'clock. So tune in. All these people are people from Texas, and I'm going to have an episode there. Producer contacted me, and he gave me the thumbs up. So tune in for September 10th on the Travel Channel. It's going to be from a lot of people here in Texas. All the episodes that they're going to have is from people here in Texas. Yes, brother. 3 a.m. And they come out. They can come out between 11, between 10. They come out. Demonic creatures come out at any time. But when it's between 3 and 4, is when they're the strongest. That's when they're in full effect. Between 3 and 4 in the morning is when this demonic creatures, because that's their hour where they're specializing. Sometimes they try to lure you outside, whether like it happened to me, that you can hear the woman yelling for help, or sometimes you might hear children laughing or playing outside their home, and you're trying to find out, well, man, what is this children doing here, playing at my house? So when you go outside, it's actually a demon mimicking the voice of a child or mimicking the voice of a woman that's luring you out there. Just like me, when I went out there, I didn't really know what time it was when I went out there. But when I left the house, I know it was 3 o'clock. So when I was trapped in there with the 6 what I believe to be demonic beings, I was stuck in there with them for about 10 to 15 minutes because I didn't know what move to make. I didn't know to run to the creek. I didn't know to run to the highway. So I had to stay in there, and when I took myself spiritually, I prayed several prayers before I even started walking and take the step forward to make my way out of there. So I was stuck in there, flanked by these beings for a while. By the time I got home, my sister was there waiting for me, and she was like, I was worried about you. I thought something had happened to you. I was in there, I don't know how long I was in there, but all I know I was in there for a while. By the time I made it home, it's not like I just prayed the Our Father and walked out of there real fast. No, it didn't happen that way. I was literally fighting spiritually. When you're fighting spiritually, you got a sense. You sense when you pray, when you're praying spiritually. If you're still feeling and sensing the threat of the spiritual presence in front of you, well, it's not time for you to move or take the step forward when you're sensing that. So you call upon the Heavenly Father, right? And you call upon the heavenly angels to assist you. So that's what I had to do. It wasn't just about saying the Our Father. It's about calling higher help. I call upon the heavenly angels and the Heavenly Father to come and assist me. So when that happened, I felt some of the negativity that I was feeling because my senses were kicking in. I felt lighter. I didn't feel as much danger as before. So that's when it was an opening for me to take the step forward to start walking through them. And like I said, when I started walking through them, that's when they started acknowledging the prayer that I was saying within myself. And they kept on saying the Holy One, because they were acknowledging God. Brother Michael, I have a video posted of my story and the way they made it. There's these people. It's awesome. I placed it on your side. Is I got it on my side too. Is dealing with it's something about the 6. It's something with the 6. Let me see who I got here. David. Remember that video you seen earlier? What was the name of it? I can't think of it. Is that I took my medicines right now? I just can't think about it. It's called the 6. They produced it real good, brother Michael Moran. You should check it out. And as I'm saying my story, they're placing images in the background of what I'm saying. And when I get to the part of they're saying the Holy One, it sounds like literally like somebody saying the Holy One. Gave me a flashback. That's how good they produced it. That it gave me a flashback about when they were saying the Holy One to me telepathically. It's freaking awesome, bro. Those people right there, they do some good work. They're young guys. One of them used to be in the military. He's a veteran. I met him through another site, and I contacted him. I was supposed to do it later on, like in August, but I guess somebody canceled out on them, and so they called me if I could do it sooner, and I said, sure, no problem. When? So like today, I said, no problem. So yeah, man, check it out, Michael. Yes, there you go. My Dogman Encounter episode 1. That's the one right there. It's right here on Spiritual. I put it on your site too, brother Michael, on the Crypto Squad, and I put it on all crypto stuff. It's there. Check it out, brother. Please check it out, man. It's real good, man. The way they made it, man, it freaked me out. It was, just put it this way, it gave me flashbacks of the way they produced it. It gave me flashbacks to that day. You know, just like you could feel it. You could feel the story. You know, it was that good. But besides that, I just want to say, Michael, you've been like my best friend here, man. You know, we've been knowing each other for a long time. You know that my other account had gotten attacked, and they got permanently deleted through Facebook, in which I lost my old account, and I had to use a backup account to build another account, and I had to rebuild my site, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters and Positive Spiritualist. Not that I had to remake it, but I just had to rebuild it with pictures that I had saved, and I'm back to normal. Well, what's happening right now, Brother Michael, is and you can talk to Brother David because he's seen it happening. A certain individual sending people my way to give me havoc. It's the same individual that's attacking you. I got rid of one of the molds, brother, that you had on your site. I got rid of them because they infiltrated my site and they were making fun of me on my site of what happened to my account. And they gave themselves away because they said they were affiliated in your group. And I figured out who it was. So I took out the mole, or I took out the puppet. I took out the person that was infiltrating you, brother. I took him out of the picture. I did. And no, I'm sorry I had to do it, but they were infiltrating you, bro. I'm telling you that I had seen a video with some of these individuals, and they had the Crypto Squad picture of your site, and they say we do it better than the Crypto Squad. Like they were making fun of your site, of your group. So that's when I started opening my eyes, and I said, you know what? I think they infiltrated me, and the same people that infiltrated me and permanently deleted my account are infiltrating Brother Michael Moore right now. That's why I contacted you, because I consider you a good friend, and I know that you've been sick. I've been sick myself, but we got to stick together, brother. You know, we can overcome this negative people. Yeah, brother, they're still continuing their games. Old boy is sitting in the background I call him. This is what I call him. I call him. Let me see if I can remember the name of what I use. Is Fat Capone? No, not Fat Capone. What was it there, Brother David, that I called him? Fat Soprano. There you go. I call him Fat Soprano because he's pretending to be a certain way, like he's not a bad person and all this, but he's the one behind it. He's sending all these puppets that are affiliated with him. He's sending them my direction, just like it did you. Fat Prano is sitting in the background, controlling all these puppets or little bitches, little fishes. I said I didn't say the other word. It was little fishes. He's controlling them in that manner, and they're coming in and out of my site, infiltrating with fake profiles, and they're the ones that have the fake profiles and infiltrating, and some of them have their own profile, but they're just coming in to tuning in here because I left a lot of groups. That's what they were doing is a lot of these people that are affiliated with them, they were admins of some of these other groups, right? So every time I would place, for example, a picture on your site, on All Cryptid or on the Cryptid Squad, they were reporting my pictures. Right now, I cannot post in other sites for about 4 more days because it put a ban on me for 7 days. So that's what initially started me to leave the groups. So some of these people that are affiliated with them, they're admins in a lot of these groups that I get invited to. So every time I post a picture, they report it intentionally to get me in trouble. So that's why I had to back out of some groups to just focus on mine, because that's what was happening. Every picture I would post, they report it, and then against community standards, that's how they do it. It was against community. They would say, "Boy, it's against community standards." So every picture I place, if I place 4 or 5 things in there, they kept on reporting them. So that's how I got the ban my account in that kind of way. No, I'm talking about my group was infiltrated, and your group is infiltrated too right now, Brother Michael. Your group is infiltrated right now. I got rid of one of the people that was behind it. I got rid of one of them that was infiltrating your group, and I believe that person was keeping your group not from growing. You know how they do it, brother. You know how they are, because you dealt with them. Yeah, there's a lot of them in there, brother. There's a lot of them that are affiliated. Just pay attention. Go in there and look at the comments, and they give themselves away just by some of the comments that they say. But there's a lot of them, and like brother Dave here, he's seeing it today. All the people that've been coming into my site. Look, you seen on my live feed, I said I'll answer any questions to anybody. Well, guess what? None of those people that are infiltrating are here to ask me a question, because that's not their job to ask me a question. So they're not here. The only time they pop in the group is to try to make fun of the pictures that my members are posting, or try to say something smart, But that's all right. I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to get rid of some more people that have nothing nice to say, and I'm going to get rid of them because just put it this way. I got a list of names of people that are affiliated with the Puppet Master, or should I call AKA Fat Soprano, that are affiliated with him. It's just funny to me how he plays like he ain't doing nothing wrong, but he's sending his little puppets to come after me. It's funny, man. It's funny because he's not man enough. He's not man enough to have a conversation with me live. He's not man enough to have a conversation with me live because I'll put him on blast, and everybody will be able to see that he's fake, man. That he's not real, that he's fake, and he's just a user, a user of people. He's had a lot of friends in the past, and he's the same friends that he made. He's done stabbed in the back, talks crap about them. Same thing that happened to you, brother, and you know the deal. I say, wanting me to choose sides between about you, and I said, hell no. Brother Michael has never disrespected me in any kind of way. Until this day, you haven't, Brother Michael. That's why I love you as a friend and a brother, man. You've never disrespected me in any kind of way, and I'm still here, man. I've always been here. It's just I've been having my own issues. I had COVID. Then I'm still having some issues right now medically. Doctor's telling me I have all these other conditions, so I don't want to think about it. I don't want to give what she was telling me power, so I try to stay optimistic with a positive attitude and a love foundation. But yes, brother, I feel you, man. I feel you. I feel you right here. What he tried to do to you, what he tried to do to you, he tried to talk smack about you, make you look like a bad person, He tried to make you look like a bad person, brother. And I stood by you. Even though He tried to make you look bad. I stuck by you, brother, because you're my homeboy. You're the real deal, man. You're a nice guy, and I'm saying it right now. Michael Moran is not a bad person. He's not a person with any kind of anger. If you say something bad to somebody, it's because somebody is being offensive to him. So Michael Moran is not a. I'm here to tell you, Michael Moran is not a bad person at all. If he said something negative to somebody, it's because most likely they've said something negative to him. So the only thing that he's done is defended himself against Tony Fat Prano. And I hope this gets back to the Puppet Master. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you, Tony Fat Prano. Trying to tarnish my buddy Michael Moran's reputation and all the other people you bully on social media. So I'm just here to tell you, Tony Fat Prano, I'm the boss of me. You're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of me. And you don't like that. You don't like when you don't have power or control over people like me. And like you met last time, Tony Fat Prano, you met Sergeant Cias. Sergeant Cias don't play. I'm telling you that right now. You're lucky Spiritual Abe is here, but Sergeant Cias, he don't play. Because why? Say it, Dave, brother Dave. Why doesn't Sergeant Cias play? Because he is the what? The GOAT. Sergeant Cias don't play. Yeah. Like I can tell everybody's somebody. If you can't believe in yourself, then how do you expect anybody to believe in you? You're somebody. Everybody's somebody. And nobody deserves to be bullied by a bully. Nobody deserves that. Or for somebody to twist words around to try to taint you or paint you to be a bad person. If somebody don't want to spend the time to get to know you, like somebody doesn't want to, this year in this group, that doesn't want to take the time to get to know me about who I am, and just here to mess around in the group, infiltrate, or be a puppet, well, then I'm not interested in knowing you. If you're already being controlled by the puppet master, then you're really nobody to me. I want to know the real you, not the puppet. Because I believe you're somebody, but if you're letting somebody control you because they want to give you a free cap or a free shirt of their group, a free cap, a free shirt of their group, so you can do some dirty work. I think that's funny. I think that's funny that somebody will do some dirty work just for a free cap or a free shirt. Yeah, I have a shirt. I don't know if you've seen that video, Brother Michael. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. You know me, man. You know me, Brother Michael. You know me how I am. You know Spiritual Abe, but on that Saturday, Spiritual Abe wasn't here. That was Sergeant Cias. And Sergeant Cias don't play because he is the GOAT. He's a GOAT. It's not a fake personality. That's the real me. That's the real me. Spiritual Abe is Spiritual Abe. I had to find a way to control Sergeant Cias, and the way I control Sergeant Cias is to find a love foundation. But once somebody messes with that love foundation, watch out, because Sergeant Cias is within their love foundation waiting to come out and play. Yes. But yeah, Brother Michael, yeah, man, you always will be a good friend. And I've never had to worry about you to stab me in the back. I never heard you say nothing negative to me of all the time that I've known you, and vice versa. I've never had nothing bad to say. I've defended your name, and I got your back, bro. I got your back. You're a real true friend. All the other ones that pretend to be my friends and they're all about themselves, they're not real friends. You've been a loyal friend to me ever since I've gotten here into the crypto world, and I'm glad I got to meet you. And then you're still my friend, man. I really appreciate you. I learned a lot of things from you, but I'm just glad that you accept me, even though you're into the crypto and you believe that they're real, and you know what? That's good. And because if I can accept, you can accept me for Spiritual Abe, to accept me for believing in my beliefs, and I accept you and believe you and your beliefs. And that's what people don't understand. Is just just because I talk spiritual and I talk about what I think it is, doesn't mean that I'm not believing what they're saying either. I've never said that I don't believe their stories of it to be in the flesh. It's just of what I experienced, there. It showed itself like it was a flesh creature, but then it became something spiritual. I went to a spiritual battle. So I never said to anybody that I don't believe their stories. I never said that I don't believe that a Bigfoot might be real, or I just believe that, to me, of what I witnessed, I believe for them to be spiritual beings, like you said, Brother Michael, about demons between the hours of 3 or 4. Well, that's when I had my incident of what I witnessed between the hours of 3 and 4, and I felt that what I dealt with was something demonic, because that's the demonic hour. The number 3 is when they mark you with the number 3 scratches. There's a demonic attack, right? A demonic attack with 3 scratches as the mark. I believe I have marks here, man, where something scratched me when I was a kid, and they come out right here on the side of my face. They scratched me. I was hearing my name being called. I was hearing my name being called to the window, and it sounded like my grandmother's voice. So I started going to the window, and she was saying, "Come here, come here, come here." When I got close to the window, the whole screen just ripped off, and I got scratched in the face. Those marks come out once in a while. I got marked in the face with 3 marks when I was a kid. But yes, people want to put me on how should I say it? Because, like I said, I believe everything. Like I said, I mean, I seen them running down the street. Which I thought it was real. Afterwards, when I seen them after I had my encounter, I seen them running down the street. And like, wait a moment, that's running down the street, and they ran like for about 100 meters. So it's got to be real if it's running. So it still throws up in the air, because they're very tricky. They get you to believe that they're real. So once that you believe that they're real, that's what happened to me. That they seemed to be real. That I was seeing something that was real, was supposedly in the flesh. Well, that's the opening that I got spiritually attacked, because I left an opening, but believing in it, and that's what it wants you to do, to believe in it. So once you believe in it, and if it's a demon, well, then you're giving it the power to overcome you, and that's what happened to me. So, but I identified it, and I knew it was something in that nature, so I knew exactly what to do, and I went into spiritual mode, and I fought it spiritually. I've tied and binded and rebuked it in Jesus' name numerous times, till I finally took authority over it, and I showed it that I wasn't afraid of it. And I told it, I tie, bind, and rebuke you in Jesus' name. I'm taking authority over you. Leave me alone. That's when it left. When I finally took authority over it. Yes, brother Michael Morin. This it's crazy, man. But I'll be coming out of probation pretty soon. I was thinking about making other sites or making my own thing. I don't know yet. Yeah, Marine cryptids. I've seen the one where there's this guy and he's hearing like a woman crying or something, and they say it's a mermaid. He's got a picture of a mermaid or a siren. So people were saying that it was a noise of a whale, because that's the way a whale sounds. But I seen the video where he's fishing, and you could see like a mermaid pass through the water. So that was crazy. I've seen that video. There's so many things that are surfacing up there right now from all elements right now, from the water, from the land, from the air. All these things that we didn't think were there, they're coming out in the open. They're coming up because of all the anger and hatred and all the havoc that's happening around the world. They're coming out to feed. They're coming out to feed on negative energy. That's what they feed on, out of negative energy. They feed off of fear. And right now there's a fear factor. The fear factor that's happening with the virus. People they're spreading fear, the media spreading fear, and they're bringing out all this unseen creature, demonic forces to come out to feed, to find a vessel, to find a host. That's what's happening right now. There's finding a lot. Basically, there's a lot of people being demonized right now, and they're being used to commit acts of violence. There's many. Yes, brother, I heard about the fish. I'm telling you, everything is surfacing up right now, man, and there's still more to come. I remember my grandfather. He told me that he was fishing one time, that his boat flipped over in the Gulf of Mexico, and when he flipped over, that he could hear a woman calling his name, and she was coming from on the waves with her hands open, and she wanted him to go with her. So he started swimming back, and she kept on chasing him and following him. So he swam all the way back to land, and he made it. You know, it was through a bad storm. It was, I think, like a hurricane was coming through or something. He got home. He traveled all the way back home. When he made it home, well, guess what happened? We lived like 21 miles away from the ocean. Well, that I'm getting my goosebumps right now, man. That siren followed him all the way home and took form of my grandmother. And I never got to meet my grandmother because my grandmother was deceased when I was born. So she took the form of his wife, which was my grandmother, and was dragging him out the window. She was literally trying to take him out the window. And this happened to him numerous times, that he stopped going fishing. He would love fishing. He stopped going fishing. But just remember one thing that I said, that something that I mentioned about the washers, that I believe the washers slept not just with women, but many animals on earth. They created the disembodied Nephilim, and which I believe they might have even slept with fish, with sharks, with whatever, man. And they've created all this disembodied Nephilim that they exist everywhere. They exist in the water. They exist in the skies, through these bat-like creatures that are being seen, looking like freaking vampires, you know. And in the land, you know, all these beings that we're witnessing, I believe it has to do with that, brother, with the disembodied Nephilim, you know. And I'll stick to that theory till the day that we find a body of a mermaid, or we find a body of a Bigfoot, a dogman. You know, you figure there's so many cryptids, at least we can find one, right? Why can't we just find one, right? One of these cryptids, and they're nowhere to be found, because, like I said, I'm sticking to my theory that I believe they're disembodied Nephilim, and they're finding hosts, and their job is to take out as many people as possible, even if it's through suicide, to take out as many people as possible in this world, so they will make it into the kingdom of heaven, and there's one less soul to make it into heaven. And that's their mission here on earth. And they're here amongst us right now. And when people say, do you think that the Nephilim exist? Yes, they do exist in disembodied form. They're here in spirit. That's what I believe. Well, I'm not going to say believe, because I want to give it power. So I take that back. That's what I'll just say it like this. That's my theory. What I think about that. Well, we can put it to the test. You know, I would say if we were running into a dogman, a Bigfoot, a mothman, a siren, or whatever cryptid there is out there, we put it to the test. But, you know, in order to put it to the test, you have to have true faith, true belief in the higher power, and have a relationship with the Heavenly Father. We put it to the test, and we say this: we take authority over you. We tie, bind, and rebuke you in Jesus' name, and see what happens. The two things are going to happen. If it's real, it's going to attack. If it's real, if it's a flesh living being, it's real, it's going to attack. But if it's spiritual, demonic, disembodied Nephilim, guess what's going to happen? It's going to disappear. So other two things are going to happen: is it's going to attack, or it's going to disappear. either or. But when you put it to the test in that nature, you better be walking a straight road, and you better have that personal relationship with the Heavenly Father, because that's the only way it's going to work. But that's how you put that theory to the test. What did they admit, brother Michael Morin? A hoax on what, brother? Yeah, I just want to check out that episode that me and my sister came out in on the Travel Channel on This Woods Are Haunted. I'm waiting for that. But yeah, that certain individual we're talking about, they'll be coming out there also. Yeah, there's a lot of people here from Texas. He might be, I don't know which episode, but the first one is on this Friday. And I never done nothing to the fella, for him to send his trolls my way. I guess that doesn't like it, but I'm thinking I'm running low on battery power. Uh, but that's all for right now, brothers. If y'all want to contact me after this, you're more than welcome. Thank you all for tuning in, and love, light, and blessings to y'all. Peace, brothers.